The darkness growing on me on XFM 104.9. Oh, it's all going well already, isn't it? The microphones fell apart. Carl's shouting because he got headphones on.
His music's turned up too loud.
Canfield level. God, it got pre-out. Look at him giggling. Look at him. Look at him laughing. That's so funny because I got a letter here from who was it from? Mike Heel, who sent me a little picture of a little Japanese fella from a film who said looks like me, and he does a little bit. But he says, please can you make Carl laugh? I've never heard him utter as much as a snigger, and I'm worried he may have a genetic disorder. Well, I mean, he has got a genetic disorder, obviously, but he was giggling then. I hope people heard you then. Look at his little face.
It was a joy.
Oh, I love the things that make him happy.
But I love the fact just before the microphone came up and just before the record finished, he had his headphones on, the music was too loud and he was just shouting, Bauhaus is not working! Bauhaus is not working! I have to play something else! I
went and found Ziggy Stardust by Bauhaus and he said, why isn't it working? Look at him giggling! Look, he's lost it! Is he going away? Are you on drugs, Carl? What have you done? He's tickled. Look at his little... He looks like one of those shaved monkeys. Look at his little... Oh my God, I've never seen a forehead glow.
I know, it's extraordinary. Oh. And he's got that red shirt on as well, so the whole of him is just a big glowing...
Carl, what are you trying? What are you putting in?
Well, I'm gonna see if I can get this to work.
Go on then.
Hang on.
Brilliant radio. I hope Dr. Fox is listening, because I think he's eating his words right now, Steve.
Right, I think I've done it.
Well done. That's excellent.
Right, what
let's play Bauhaus now, and let's try and compose ourselves. This is Ziggy Stardust by Bauhaus. Well, that bootleg's going under the name of, Nothing, Miss Jackson, I think, by Meats and Poultry. So there you go.
I do love these bootleg things because they're so pointless, but they're so enjoyable.
Yeah, it's great. It's fun to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
really good
they're
fun.
Great, but not as much fun as White Van Carl.
White Van Carl, absolutely. Do you want to explain the premise?
Well, we take the Sun asked someone else and asked Carl. It's simple as that.
That's
the Sun have just taken a normal person. We flipped it. We're going to ask Carl the same questions about the week's news.
Yeah, just basically your opinions, Carl, as ever. What do you make of, well, obviously the big news, David Beckham's broken foot? Is this a big concern for you?
No, I mean, he's sad, you know, it's sadder for him more than anyone, because, you know, to like, be in the World Cup is, like, the main thing for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he's still a young lad, and, I don't think he'll give up. I reckon he'll still turn up. He'll be alright, and, yeah, good luck to the lad. You're not like David, I'm not going to slag him off.
What his words?
Yeah. He says that like he knows him, like he's popping round for drinks later.
Yeah, like we tried to stitch you up. Go on.
But obviously yesterday, was it yesterday? I think maybe Thursday. The Sun printed a big picture of David's foot and encouraged everyone to touch it at midday, because hoping that this would somehow, if we all thought and prayed together, somehow that would help his foot heal. Do you believe in that?
No.
Do you have any belief in that?
No, you're going down the old like Yoragella route, aren't you?
Sure.
And it's stupid.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, it's nice effort and everything. It sort of cheers everyone up.
Hold on, you believe in ghosts and warlocks and licking toads? Why is that any more stupid than all those things?
It's not going to work, is it?
All right,
fine.
It's rubbish.
Okay.
Okay, what about this then? There's, apparently now available £1.5 million apartments available on an exclusive ship which sails around the world.
Yeah, it's like,
what do you make of that?
It's a huge thing, and you live on it, and it's, I mean, in theory...
How big is it?
It's mental. It's like a town centre.
Do you know how, like, people said that the Titanic was the biggest ship? Was that only then? They've got bigger ones now, haven't they?
Yeah.
A lot bigger.
Oil tankers are much bigger, and... Yeah.
No, but actual
liners are big. Yeah. It was the biggest then. Yeah.
Because my mum told me that there was one that was that big that it had like rough areas on it.
Oh God!
Don't go starboard.
Oh God!
No, but you know what I mean?
Right.
It was like
we're thinking of moving. We're seeing the captain. We're thinking of moving to a nicer area.
Oh yeah. I've heard they're very rough in aft.
Oh God! Oh,
they steal your tires.
A ship's so big that was rough areas. Oh.
How big is this one that you're talking about?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't give me the specifications here, but
they're huge. They're huge. In theory, I mean, it's that thing with it's obviously marketing, but they're gonna solve the overpopulation crisis, where soon we'll all just be floating around the sea.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I can see that, because I mean, think about it, right? I've been talking to Ricky about it. I was hoping to buy somewhere in London, but there is no way in this world that I can afford it, right? And you look at all the wasted space, like with the Thames. All it's doing is like collecting crisp packets and stuff and Coke cans, and people have to clean it up. Whereas if you got a load of boats on there, problem solved.
Yeah. Would you live on a boat?
solved.
What's his name did it, didn't he? What's that programme? Is it Bergerac?
Noah. Oh, Bergerac?
There was one where he lived on a boat. I think it's quite...
That was a shoestring.
Yeah, I'd give it a go anyway.
Noah!
I'd like to see you, living in the air, maybe in a giant hot air balloon.
Yeah, alright. But, no, the boat thing, because it is going to get bad as well, isn't it? They're saying that the water's melting or whatever.
The water's melting,
The ice is melting.
Yeah.
And there's going to be more water and less land, so in the future, it's probably going to be the way we're going to be living, isn't it?
Have you seen that film Waterworld?
Nah, I don't fancy it.
Because that sort of predicts that, yeah.
What, are they saying that the ice thing
exactly,
as well?
yeah.
But at the same time, I was thinking about this a couple of weeks ago. If you get, I mean, I think I read that, like, a big chunk of ice, fell off one of the ice, what do you call them?
Caps.
Ice caps. Something like I think they said it's the size of the Empire State Building or something.
Right.
It snapped off and went into the water, and it's melted. And they said, oh, it's bad news, you know, something that size is melting. But the way I look at it, if something that size falls into the water, it's like a big ice cube, and it's gonna freeze it up again. Are you with me?
Not really, Carl.
Go on.
Right, you get a giant ice cube, the size of the Empire State Building, stick it in the water, it's gonna make, it's gonna stick back on again, isn't it?
Well, no, only if it freezes up again.
Yeah, well, it will freeze up. The water's going to get cold again because you've just put a giant ice cube in the water.
So when you put an ice cube in a drink, the drink doesn't freeze, does it?
No,
the ice melts.
If you put one the size of an Empire State Building in your glass of Jack Daniels, it's going to make it freezing.
It's not going in a glass of Jack Daniels, it's going in the ocean.
I know, but I'm using my fables. Imagine a world.
Use your brain instead.
Imagine the world, imagine the sea, like the Arctic or whatever, as a glass of Jack Daniels.
Okay.
A big ice cube falls into it.
Yeah.
It freezes, it melts back on again. So we're alright, I don't know why everyone's worrying.
God, thank God for that, I was getting panicked.
Oh, fine.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, that will happen.
Should we play some more music and then come back to White
Yeah, this is better than ever.
This is dynamite this week. Nelly, Ride With Me, that's featuring City Spud. I don't know if you're aware of that, but there we are, good, nice summer tune.
Carl, tell Steve what you just told me when Steve was in the toilet then.
Right, you know, I'd just been away with my mum and dad and that, and one of the things I always like doing is having a good chat with my dad about stuff he got up to when he was a kid and that.
Yeah.
Right, because he got up to loads of stuff, and every time I see him, he tells me something, and I thought, it's like, why are you just telling me that now? It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Right? So,
I mean, to me, he's kind of like Ronnie Biggs or someone. He's just the most extraordinary kind of.
Well, this happened, right? I can't remember. There was a delay yesterday. There was problems on the Paddington line, and he was saying, "Oh, trains aren't what they used to be."
Sure.
He said, "You know," he said, "I was looking."
They used to be horses, didn't they?
Well, he was looking in the booklet, and it was saying how you can have your bags collected if you want, but it costs you £5.
Yeah.
So that's outrageous.
Sure, of course.
Right. So he said that's the problem with this country. We've got good with computers and that, but when it comes to like getting service, it's gone out the window.
Yeah.
Right. So he said when I worked on the trains, you know, and he was going on like this, that and the other. So I said, oh, I didn't know you worked on the trains. He said, yeah, when I was 18, right, it was his job to get the coal, right, and chuck it in the engine. Right. And one day he's in Grand Central Station in Manchester, which is now the GMX Centre.
Right.
Right. And that was like the main station. And he was in there. The fella who should have been sort of driving the train, right, he said, oh, I'm just nipping to the pub.
Sure.
So you just stay here, keep the engine topped up and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah.
For a quick getaway.
Yeah.
Right? So the fella goes in the pub, and my dad's in there, you know, putting the coal on. He did his bacon and eggs on a little shovel.
Yeah, yeah.
And anyway, fella comes up. He says, right, can you move the train forward now?
Oh, blimey.
So he was like, oh. So he didn't want to say, oh, the fella's in the pub, because he'd know, he'd say, what's he doing in the pub? He should be working, right? So he said, yeah, no problem, I'll sort it out. Right, so he puts it into gear or whatever you do on them trains.
Sure,
right?
puts it into first, yeah.
Starts going forward. Now, people who don't know about trains, something that I learnt is if you're carrying a load of coal or whatever on the back of it, they don't have brakes on each carriage, right? It's only the engine that has brakes on it. So when you pull the brakes on the engine, the whole weight of what it's pulling is pushing you forward.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't realise this though, because he's just used to cooking bacon and eggs and chucking coal.
Of course,
and
yeah. So you've got to slam the brakes on sooner than you would normally.
Yeah.
Well, you have to anticipate it, I suppose. Yeah.
But he didn't know that,
course he
so
didn't,
he's
yeah.
pulling in, he's thinking, right,
Well, he's a Pilkington.
I'll put the brakes on now.
Yeah.
Right? Puts the brakes on, the train just keeps going, he's going, oh god, it's not stopping.
Sure.
It ploughs right through the signal box. Right? Loads
The
of
baboon
damage.
pulling the signal to know what to do.
Yeah.
Loads of damage done. Apparently, if it was today's money,
Yeah.
it'd be about £3 to £4 million worth of damage. It shut the station off for 4 weeks. But he didn't lose his job. The fella lost his job, the one who was in the pub.
Yeah.
He said the funny thing was, he said like £4 million worth of damage. He did his ankle, his wrist in. He had 3 weeks off sick and got paid. So it's brilliant. So
I love your family.
It's extraordinary. The Pilkington gene.
weird, isn't it?
I'd like to see a documentary following you and your family. You'd have to get the family involved.
No, the sort of stuff my dad goes on about. They'd never put it on telly.
Carl's theme tune there, by Placebo. Special Needs on XFM 104.9.
Alright.
New Year's resolution, Carl?
I don't know. I don't do it. Really.
What about something like, I don't know, start smoking? Do you know, there must be something.
No, it's a waste of time, isn't it? Don't bother with that.
Right?
You
Any-
see?
Me, no, I've never really made any New Year's resolutions. I just be good to people. Just treat everyone as you want to be treated yourself. Give to charity. Hate crime, racism, famine, sexism.
I know you're going to keep to all those, except the gift to charity. That's... Me and Carl find that a little bit hard to believe.
Never gonna happen. Well, you've always got to break at least one of your New Year's resolutions.
Exactly. Yeah, well, I think I'll be nice to Carl. What about learn more? I was thinking that. I want to
I'm
learn
always
more.
teaching you stuff.
I've got. I watched. I'll tell you what. Christmas telly was dreadful this year. I don't know if I've hit that age where I think, but I think consciously I thought this is worse than usual.
Yeah.
And I ended up watching that Discovery Channel and History Channel again, and I watched 4 episodes in a row of this fantastic documentary, 1418 War, narrated by Dame Judi Dench. And it's brilliant. I just can't get enough of it. I hated history at school, and now I want to know everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's mine. Learn all the stuff about stuff.
I like learning though. I always
Yeah.
say that to you. I'm always looking up stuff. When I was on holiday, even though it was sunny outside and they had big holes to look at if I wanted to, I stayed in and watched Discovery there and was watching stuff about scorpions and that.
Yeah. What did you learn?
Well, nothing, because it was all in Spanish. But I just watched it. What I found odd, right? What I found...
Scorpio, somebody get it. It's only about the poison you get away.
What I don't understand is with scorpions, right? They have like this sort of weapons, don't they? They have the poison and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which can kill a man.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of little animals and that were its sort of enemy,
Yeah.
and it stung them, and it didn't kill them. So what's the point?
Well, firstly, not all scorpions kill a man. Some of them,
This one did. They said.
Yeah, well, they range from like bee stings to so much venom it can take down a horse on things like spiders and snakes and scorpions. So it depends. But a scorpion that will kill a man would kill a rabbit. So I don't know what you're talking about.
No, there was a snake that it stuck its thing into, and some sort of beaver, and they were just like running about.
There's nothing funny about that, so why are we laughing?
Well, the snake wasn't running about, was it?
Well, it's slithering about a bit.
Yeah. What was the beaver doing when the snake...
Just sort of, I think it ate it in the end.
What? Ate what?
Ate the scorpion, just wandered off.
Well, it wasn't a beaver.
there you go,
There's
you've
no
learned that.
way it was a beaver.
Alright, an otter. It was,
This is what you pieced together from a show in Spanish.
well, I'm saying though, how come it can't kill something that small, yet there's someone on holiday that's no sort of danger to that scorpion, we're not going to harm it, right? And yet it can kill a man.
So you say, but I don't believe it.
Shut up, mate. Seriously, this is gobbledygook.
Taught you something again though, that's what I'm saying.
No, what have you taught us though? What is the fact that's come out of that? A scorpion can kill a man, but the beaver was dancing with a snake, then
You do that
That's
all
not
the
a
time,
fact.
though.
That's not a fact.
Down. New Year's Eve I taught him something, right, about dead people.
No, you know what it is it taught me? I was saying you're talking shite. He says they found out your soul weighs an ounce.
Your soul?
Yeah. Your soul weighs an ounce.
Right, who found this out?
I read it.
Your arsehole weighs an ounce.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. A soul weighs an ounce. You're talking drivel.
Alright.
Have you got any monkey news?
So what did they do? They measured. They weighed someone who was alive, and they will wait for you to die, then weigh you again.
There was someone
Now
who-
you've lost an ounce. You know, so it must be your soul shooting off to heaven.
It was someone who was really ill, and they said, we can't do anything for you here, but we've got a bit of an idea that we want to do. We've been wanting to do it. Stuck him on some scales. He said, right, you weigh 9 pounds and an ounce or whatever, because he was wasting away. He died, 9 pounds. Right?
Fine, well, that's proof if proof we needed.
Star Sailor, poor, misguided fool. Well, it's time. Well,
Go on.
that time, isn't it?
Yeah. Play the jingle.
Yeah. White Van Man, Carl.
Brilliant. Recorded at great expense, that jingle.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where we just hijack an idea from The Sun, which is White Van Man, where The Sun asks, in this instance, a cabbie by the look of it. Oh no, a fruit and veg shop owner.
Ours is slightly different because the Sun sort of like pick on a perfectly normal member of the public.
Exactly.
So that's where we've got the
the upper hand.
twist. Yeah.
And they ask him about the the hot potatoes. This week, Carl, my first question to you, well, your thoughts, please, on the criticism of the BBC over their coverage of the Queen Mum's death. What do you make of this? You're aware of all the criticism that Peter Sissons asked some probing questions?
No, I thought it
wore
was
a burgundy tie.
I thought that's it. Yeah, he just had it didn't show respect. He just had a burgundy tie on.
See, that's not really not showing respect, is it?
No, it's not.
You know, you show your respect by sort of doing the news on it, giving her a bit of coverage, and showing, you know,
Bit of publicity.
what a good woman she was or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you move on to sport news or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally agree.
I don't like the way everything's morbid. I was thinking about it. It's like, you know, the way in birthday cards and that, people always put funny things in them. I think you should save things like that for funerals, for like funeral cards and that, and try and cheer people up at times when they're low. Do you know what I mean? Because on your birthday you're quite happy anyway, so you don't need someone putting a funny comment in a card. I think, you know, when you send a card...
What would you suggest?
Well, you know,
whoopee cushion, but on the vicar's chair. How would you liven up the funeral?
just little things in the card. I mean, you're just writing stuff like, well, you know, at least you're still alive or whatever.
So as you're giving the eulogy...
So, that'd be good. So suppose someone's husband's killed in a car crash, you go around with some flowers and a little card, and it says, at least you're still alive.
Well, maybe something funnier than that.
Well, maybe, like, if you got up to give the eulogy during a funeral, just wear a pair of comedy tits.
Yeah, or those glasses that are eyes on sort of springs.
But why has everyone got to be so sad about someone dying?
No, what annoys me is that when you see the people on television, they sort of members of the public, and they're crying about the Queen Mother, who was sad when anyone dies, sad when anyone nan dies. She was 102, and what, you know, I mean, it's sort of like, I think they should cry.
Well, there's a picture in the paper today.
I don't understand it.
There's a picture in the paper today of various people who were lining the the funeral kind of route yesterday, and there's a picture of a very young child, maybe sort of 5 or 6, on the arms of her dad, and her head bowed, and it says a young girl there weeps for the Queen Mother. And I was looking at it, and you can tell she's just tired. Well, she's just tired and bored. It's so transparent that it's not crying. It's
Most
just, what are we doing
when their nan dies?
Exactly.
You know, it's sort of like...
But what is a 5-year-old girl gonna be? Why is she gonna be crying? The Queen Mum said, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Teletubbies? No. The Queen Mum. Oh, not the Tweenies? No, it's all in a minute.
Yeah.
It's like...
Oh, dear.
I mean, I know, I'm sure, you know, I don't know much about her, I don't know if she was a great woman, and obviously, you know, it's always sad when someone dies, but it's like, it's interesting that there was a lot of tourists in that long line of people that are now queuing from hours upon hours to see her dying in state, because it's clearly just people who want to be a part of history.
Must be gutting if you're over from Sweden, and you find out that, you know, the Queen Mum's died.
Oh, you must be devastated.
You probably don't want to carry on with your visit.
Exactly.
Really.
Okay, listen, Carl,
I think we've covered that.
what do you make of the, what do you make of the first genetically modified baby?
Oh.
Are you worried about this?
Do you know what did they do? What?
Let me see what it says here. It
Well,
says,
isn't it just choosing the, eye colour?
Well, this is the concern, isn't it? That in the future you'll be able to decide whether it's a boy or a girl, how intelligent it is, what it looks like, is it handsome, is it ugly? Obviously, no one will choose an ugly baby, and so on and so on and so on. And so it means that where will it lead? Where will it end, Carl? Are you concerned?
I've thought about this a lot.
What will us three look like in the future if they're being, genetically modified beautiful people? What will we be like? How will we be considered in society?
True, yeah. But we've talked about this before, haven't we? About the cloning thing.
Yeah.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But I don't think it matters, because at the end of the day, right, you might look like some other kid, but it's the way you're brought up that will change your features and the way you are, your personality.
If you lie, you get a long nose, don't you?
Well, no, but listen, right, because I remember when we, I was growing up on this estate.
This is gonna be good. Go on.
No, it's not. It's just an example of how this doesn't work.
Go on.
So we don't need to worry, sort of thing.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm growing up on this estate, and there was this woman about 4 houses down, right, who's a bit rough. Alright?
Didn't fancy her.
Oh, God, no. Right, but she had a
Why?
baby.
Well, tell me about her first. I'm interested in this woman. Why was she?
It was a very...
She looked like a man in a dress.
I mean, I didn't grow up in a posh house or anything. And
Sure.
I'm not saying that if you live in a bit of a rough house, you're a bad person.
What did she look like?
But anyone can
Tattoos?
clean up.
Looked like Tony Green with a fag on.
They didn't clean up much, right?
Oh.
Which, even if you've not got a lot of money, you can still try and make a place look nice.
Yeah.
Right? But she didn't, and a kid used to take a horse into the house.
Sorry.
Whoa,
Whoa, Neddy. What do you mean a kid used to take a horse into the house? Where did he get a horse?
Must have nicked it from somewhere. Must have done.
You've seen a horse in it? No.
What, is that from outside the saloon round the corner?
Yeah, was it just tied up with a bit of...
Right?
Oh, that's great. Big Jake come looking for it.
I'd been out.
Oh. Sorry, let me get this. This was before the lynching stopped or after.
Where did he get a horse from? What do you mean you must have nicked it? His mum said, where'd you get that from? I bought it. Alright then, but keep it out of the kitchen.
I don't want you going Catlin rustling.
Where did he get a horse from, Carl? And how long did he have it for? Was he leading it or riding it? Mum, open the door, I can't stop!
I can't stop it. Open the patio door as well,
Looks like we got us a runaway. What do you mean?
I don't know, but the thing is, they couldn't afford to buy one because they're not cheap. So I'm just guessing. Maybe that's wrong of me. But I think...
He had a horse?
Yeah, right, so...
That's why the family didn't have any money, they'd spend it on the horse.
No, I don't think, that's what I'm saying, I don't think they would have bought it. So anyway...
Yeah, it's wise to whisper, Carl, in case they're listening.
Yeah, and
they could be in the room next door.
It's not buying it, it's keeping it as well. Oh,
so I was like in the car with my dad, coming into the avenue, and you used to have to drive down it to turn round. And, and sort of go back to our house.
You had the traditional method of transport, yeah.
And, the horse was in the lounge.
Reading a paper?
Just like walking around.
Oh, God! What?
And when I was doing it, I tried to earn myself some money once by flogging little flowers in plastic cups.
What? This is genius! It just keeps coming. What do you mean you're trying to flog little flowers? What do you mean?
Wait. Let's play a record. Let's play a record and come back to this, because the story's going to just unravel and unravel. It's going to go for hours. Let's play a track,
deeper and deeper. It's like an onion, isn't it?
We've created a whole world here where there's a man living with a horse.
Just walking around the lounge.
I come from the West Country, I've never heard anything like that.
I just think of a big sort of like orange carpet and a rediffusion telly and this horse going, I'm fed up in here.
Exactly.
This is really...
I am not taking the rubbish out again.
Yeah.
Right, play a record. Let's have Velvet Underground. We've got that lined up.
Oh,
yeah, the classic from the first album. I'm Waiting for the Man. Let's come back to the horse in a second.
Little flowers in pots. What do you mean?
Classic first album, Velvet Underground and Nico, which apparently peaked at a disappointing 171 in the US charts.
Think of that.
And that's obviously Lou Reed, Velvet Underground, and Waiting for the Man.
Yeah, great track. So, we were talking, we were doing White Van Man, and we got onto
genetically modified babies, but
and
somehow
then Carl started telling a story about someone with a horse, and then he got onto, he was trying to make money selling flowers. Just do the flowers briefly.
Well, hang on, I just want to recap slightly. So there was a family, and who had the horse in the family?
It was...
Because you lived on an estate in Manchester.
So the mother was a right pig, apparently. I don't know why that's relevant.
You don't need to go that far.
But
what I'm trying to do is, like, make a picture for you so you understand.
What a picture it is. Who did she look like?
Bit of a... and no disrespect to her. Bit like Pauline Quirk.
Quirky, yeah.
Right?
Okay, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be Paul. Did she have any tats? Did she have any tattoos?
I've never got that close to it.
Okay, all right.
So who had the horse? Was this her son or her
No,
husband?
a daughter.
Her daughter had stolen a horse,
Yeah, from, I don't know where, there was I think there was some stables down the road or something.
and they kept the horse in the house with
They
them.
kept it in the house.
Did
But
they
didn't
get
have it
caught?
for long.
No.
So, and you said you were in the house one day and you saw the horse
No,
in
what
there.
happened was, I was, they did this thing at school about raising money for charity, right? For some local charity. And they said you can do anything to raise money, and they came out with all these ideas, and I thought, that's good.
What was the charity?
Well, I don't know, I thought, forget the charity.
Yeah, that's
I'm
just
a
a good
charity,
money making
yeah.
idea.
So-
You're a charity.
So, so I asked my mum for some, 'cause she used to have a lot of flowers around the house.
Sure.
I said, can I just take some snippings off them? And, I'll go and buy some plastic cups. And, got some soil out of the garden, planted the bits of plants in them,
Yeah.
got a tray,
Yeah.
had about 25 plants on it, selling them for 25 pence each.
Excellent. Did you sell any?
Yeah, so loads.
Did you just cut? You didn't just cut them and stick them in the
Yeah, they
soil.
want to survive.
Oh.
But I think people sort of thought, oh, good on him for trying. But anyway, so I went round to theirs, because I thought their house could do with a bit of colour and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a bit rough. So as I went
The horse went, thank God for that breakfast. They've been feeding me kitty cat.
so I got up to the door, and they opened the door, and it was one of them houses where no carpet,
Yeah. A horse in the living room.
You know.
We've all been there.
and,
Yeah.
and the horse was walking around the living room.
Oh.
I looked quite happy and everything, because I always say that about animals.
Black Beauty
right?
was on. Yeah.
Well, think about it, right? If you were a horse, where would you rather be? In a little wooden hut with a load of hay, or in like a house with a
Central heating.
3-piece suite and
Sure.
a telly and that?
Telling you that.
No, but I was saying this the other day,
And an Atari.
right? I was walking through London the
Commodore
other day,
64,
Yeah.
rubbish.
Exactly.
walking through London with Suzanne, right?
Yeah.
And do you know, like homeless people always have dogs. And
Yeah.
she said, oh, I hope she looks after it. I said, that dog is happier than most dogs.
Right.
Because people always walk past and give it a pat on the head.
Yeah.
It's with its owner all the time.
Yeah.
It's out in the open, it's not locked up in a house.
Yeah.
It doesn't
You know what I
eat,
mean?
but other than that.
No, it does eat, though, they're always alright. So that's what I was saying, I think this horse was doing alright for itself. Do you know what I mean?
Well, not many horses have got their own house.
Exactly.
For a start, yeah.
But anyway, that's
That's
what
by
we
the
were talking
by.
about. Yeah, so anyway, this family, who's a bit, what we were talking about, it was about cloning.
Genetically modified kids
Yeah.
and all that stuff, yeah.
Right, now what I'm saying is, you could say, you know, right, Steve, you could have a baby, right? And Ricky could see it and say, God, I want one that looks like that,
Yeah.
right?
It could happen, Rick.
So,
Come on, work with him.
so you take it to the doctors, and I don't know what they do, they inject it with something or whatever,
Yep, that's how it's done.
Yeah.
and get a little baby, and there it is, it looks the same. Now the thing is, you separate, you both go off and do your own things,
Yep.
right? Now, you look at Stephen, you look after your baby,
Yeah.
you treat it well, you give it good food and
I'm
that,
a good dad.
all the vitamins and stuff.
Yeah.
Ricky just gives it cheese, right? So then it changes its looks, it goes a bit fat, you know, it gets tired easily, and that sort of thing. Now, when this family,
Why am I just feeding a baby cheese?
right, this family who had a horse in their house,
Yeah.
they had a little baby, and my mum went round and said, you're not going to believe this, but it's a beautiful looking baby, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you know. And the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, they didn't really look after it. And I'm not saying, like, abusing it, but it used to run around, it used to play out till, like, 10 at night.
Yeah.
It used to chase cars.
Right.
It was a bit...
Did it have hooves?
Yeah, no. Chase cars!
Right.
What sort of kid chases cars? Oh, God.
No.
Was it called Rover?
The weird
Did it catch sticks?
It's Liam, it was called, right?
Right.
Now, the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, and all that, like, not eating properly and its hair was all patchy,
It's not Liam Gallagher, is it?
and chasing cars and that, and it became an ugly kid.
It's definitely Liam Gallagher.
And that's what I'm saying, right? You can clone all you like, but at the end of the day, it's how you brought up.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Whoa.
Live.
Wow.
That was a hell of a point.
Oh, God.
But am I right?
Oh, you're always right, Carl.
Finally, White Van Man, what do you make of the fact that Sainsbury's are bringing in square tins?
Is that
a
true?
concern for you?
Is that true?
Apparently so.
Why? It's
know.
like it's easy to stack.
This is what the guy in the Sun has said. That should be interesting for... That should be his comment on Sainsbury's are bringing in square tins. Is that should be interesting for meatballs. Ricky's just collapsed on the floor. Let's just play a song, Carl. I don't think even you can top that.
Crazy beat. Blur. Alright? On XFM 104.9.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so I also got, Jane got me a few nice presents, including my favourite of all of them, a real bow and arrow.
A real bow and arrow?
Yeah.
Right. And what, you know, you're gonna rob from the rich and give to the poor?
Yeah! I just got to make the little outfit.
You and your merry men.
She's got me like 2 yards of green felt.
Sure, yeah,
And
yeah.
I've just got to find
And
a
a tree
tailor.
house.
Someone who can make me a lovely little natty outfit.
Yeah. Why has she bought you a bow and arrow? You live in central London, so where are you going to be using
We've got a
this?
garden, I did it yesterday. I've got
Right.
my finger though, because I'm meant to put protector, so it's just, oh, it goes so fast, isn't it?
I didn't understand that sentence. I'm here in the studio. I saw you
excited.
point to your finger, so I'm guessing from that maybe you injured your finger.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
For the listener, again, what exactly were you talking about then?
No, because when you put it back, it...
Okay.
So...
And did you have a target? What do you use
Yeah,
as a
I
target?
got a big cardboard box flat on it, down the tree.
Right.
I go, oh, it's brilliant.
Sure.
I'm getting a bit excited thinking about it.
Yeah, no, indeed.
Because when I make that outfit, I'm going to be running round.
Yeah.
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 So,
and do you have a picture, like a face maybe, on your target, like Osama bin Laden, something like that?
Yeah.
Sure.
No, it just says, this way up, fragile.
Right, okay.
I forget what came in it. But, you know, it's good fun, isn't it, Carl? Bow and arrow, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Yeah? Would you like a little bow and arrow?
Yeah, it's alright.
Yeah.
Well, at first I had a rifle as a kid.
Did you?
Yeah, that's-
A real one?
yeah, just shooting cans and stuff.
Yeah.
It's alright. So,
Well, a wonderful anecdote.
Well, I went out with a drink with Carl in the week, and we went to a restaurant, didn't we, Carl?
it's a good night.
And we sat there, and next to me, when Carl came, next to me was what's his name? Ross Kemp. And he was sitting there, and I saw Carl, and I tapped him on the shoulder, Ross Kemp on the shoulder, and I pointed to Carl and him, and I said, "It's nice to see you two back together again."
Nice.
And Carl was horrified. But Carl didn't know that I'd already spoken to him before Carl arrived.
Yeah,
so it was,
yeah.
I thought it was okay. I thought I could break the ice because I'd met him before.
Sure.
So he just thought I was insulting him. And in the week we were talking about his little head, weren't we, Carl? And Carl suddenly stopped the conversation and said, "If I had hair, what would we be talking about now?" I think he'd had enough of everyone talking about it. And he looked good though. It's a special little do. He had it sort of, you know, cropped a little bit more. I like it when he's just freshly had it done. Do you like?
Has that ever happened to you, Steve? If you're somewhere, say if you sat somewhere, does someone sort of, you know, is there anyone else who you look like, or would you say you're a bit of a one-off?
I love these two.
But to be fair, to be fair, he seems to be having to go at me an awful lot more than I do at him now. I mean, he just starts it, you know, starts it out of nowhere.
I think his is sort of a get back for the way you treat him as a producer, not, you know.
But he's not a producer. If he produced the show, I wouldn't have a reason to criticise. But
I think this is it.
But seriously, I mean, it really winds me up though, because, you know, it started as a joke, but now it's abuse.
Yeah. He got annoyed at Heat because it said Carl, producer, well, not so much a producer as just a bald mank. And he went, "Can they say that?
Yeah.
Can they say that?"
See, that's a magazine, an independent publication has identified what exactly it is you do.
Yeah.
There we go then, go on, bring it on, because here we go, he's looking at me, I know he's thinking, I can hear the cogs
I'm not
working.
thinking anything.
It's vicious.
that is true. Never a true word. Play a record.
Now then, I heard this on VH1 in the week, and I have not been able to get it out of my head, and I really kind of want to, I want to get it in everyone else's mind now, so they understand the pain I've been going through. Miss You by the Rolling Stones.
Yeah. Right, now, do we need them?
Do we need them? It's something we started a few weeks ago. We're always talking about animals and insects and that, and it's like, you know, if you took an animal out of the world, would we have problems? Right?
Would it make any difference?
Yeah, would it make any difference?
We
That's
did
what
jellyfish last time, didn't we?
Yeah,
We sorted that out.
the woman said we've got to keep them.
We do need them because turtles eat them.
Yeah. So I've moved on. Octopus.
Do we need the octopus?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
I'm working through a load of animals, right, that I'm finding out whether we need them or not, right?
Right.
Because, like, jellyfish, to me, I'm a bit puzzled by them. I don't really know why we need jellyfish, and I spoke to some
Turtles
expert.
eat them.
What?
Turtles eat them.
Yeah, I know, but do we need turtles? Do you know what I mean? It goes on and on, doesn't
We
it?
need humans.
Well, you know, I mean, that, I might get to that bit, but
Yeah.
I need to sort out the animals first. I've got a lot on. So, the thing is, I've left the jellyfish. We know we need them, right?
Right.
So, octopus,
Yeah.
right, I know they're pretty brainy.
Incredibly brainy.
A story that I heard, I don't know if it's true, but there was some science lab somewhere, right,
Yeah.
where they had some octopus in it, and they had some crabs,
Yeah.
and at night, the octopus was, like, getting a bit bored on its own in the dark and that, and they sort of come alive in the dark, don't they?
Yeah.
They like the dark.
Yeah.
And the octopus had its eye on the crabs, and at night, when it's dark, it was getting out of its little cage, crawling along the floor, getting in the crab's cage, getting them out and eating them.
I don't doubt it. We put jam jars with the lids on with crabs in, and they'll open the jam jar and...
You're joking?
Yeah.
Even I sometimes struggle with them.
Yeah, we don't do it... you don't do it really, really tight, but...
Alright, so they're not that clever then?
Well, they would, if they were strong enough, they'd open it, but they're just not that strong.
Oh, that's mad. Right, I also know that if they get hungry, they eat their own legs.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're deaf.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they don't live very long.
They can squash themselves into small jugs.
Oh, yeah, they can go in a demi-john through the narrow neck and that.
Why do they need to do that?
Because they're the sort of crevices and holes that they're hunting for crabs and things through.
So, would they be better if they were smaller? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah. But octopus then, if Noah said to you, you know, we're having a clear out,
Yeah.
we've got too many animals to look after and that in the sea, taking up too much room,
Right.
do we need them?
I think there's other less useful things in the sea than octopus. Limpets, they could go.
Limpets?
Yeah, they just sit on a rock and do nothing for 50 years.
But they're not getting in the way then, how big are they?
Oh, not very big.
Yeah, you see, I might come round to them, but I never think, oh, you know, I'm sick of seeing these limpets. Whereas octopus, you know, crawling about, opening jam jars and that.
You'd never see them though, they're really rare.
Well,
We get 2 or 3 caught a year, it's quite amazing.
do we need them?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah.
Well, we'll just have to keep them then.
I love that Carl can confuse a scientist.
Yeah. Yeah, because all systems of logic break down.
I know,
Everything they've ever
even the
learned.
scientist was going, well, get rid of limpets.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Now,
is
who was
brilliant.
that guy?
I think his name was Chris,
And where was he from?
in a place called Megavissi, where I went one year.
Megavissi.
And he's a scientist, is he?
I think he's got a fish shop or something like that.
He's got a fish.
No, he doesn't.
Well,
really-
like an aquarium type place.
Oh, right.
So,
A fish shop.
It wouldn't
Fish and chip shop.
It wouldn't be past him that he, a winkle store. He's got a winkle store at Poole Harbour.
Yeah, that's an expert.
Oh dear.
but what have you learnt from that then?
Well, that we don't know whether they're deaf or not because the bloke in the chip shop
they
couldn't
are.
confirm it. They eat their own legs. Think of
That's
that.
a bit weird.
Isn't it?
They eat
weird.
their own legs.
Eat their own legs if they get hungry,
Right.
and they grow back, don't they?
I think so. Yeah.
If you eat one, they'll grow back.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can put them in little jars and that. If you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's just a bit weird, isn't it? It's like no, but do you know, like, you know, people have a go about being cruel to animals and that. But what he was saying there is, right, what they've watched an octopus do. They've got hold of a crab, right? So that'll be being stressed out because it's out of the water.
Yep.
They've then stressed it out even more by putting it in a jar,
Right.
which you didn't like. And then an octopus is crawling about on the jar,
Yeah.
and the crab knows that the octopus wants to eat it, right? So then it's having more frets
Yeah.
because of that, and then they let the octopus eat it.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty...
Do we need crabs?
Do them next week, yeah?
Well, I want to sort out snails first.
Right. What's your pitch with snails? What do you know about snails?
I know that bats eat them. They can sleep for 13 years.
Right.
Oh, you
Can you believe that?
He said to me, snails can sleep for 13 years. And I went, right. He went, oh, thing is though, if it was a scientist, and he was, you know, he was looking at it, and he put it in a quiet place, it might well doze off. He said it wouldn't be the same if it lived on the streets.
XFM, London.
Right, we've got, who's that on the line?
It's Rob.
Rob, and, are you a doctor?
I'm a final year medical student. I'll be a doctor in 2 months, touch wood.
That's close enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Excellent. So, where do you study? Do you want to give more details, or do you want to remain anonymous as you're calling into?
I study at Bauhaus Hospital.
All right, great. So, why do GPs sometimes put their finger up a man's anus?
To see what's there. You know, if you've got hemorrhoids, if you've got an enlarged prostate, you know, it's either that or they stick up a big tube and have a look up with a light.
What?
And it's easier to do that.
Now, are you dumbing this down for us, or are you going to fail your medical exams by saying stick up a big tube with a light?
I'm dumbing it down.
Okay, come on then. We're all intelligent people here, and Carl. So you tell us what's that called?
It's called a sigmoidoscope.
Right.
Nice. That was a clever test, wasn't it, Rick?
12 inch
He's a real
long,
doctor.
Yeah.
12-inch long tube that you can put up there.
So, Carl, would you prefer that or a finger?
Well, so do they sort of do the finger first, and then, I mean, at what point do they say, hang on, we need a light here? I mean...
It's normally if there's something wrong.
But, so if I go then, say if I go to this Wellman clinic, right, and they go, yeah, the art's good and that, yeah, finger, there you go, and then they go, hang on, I'm going to go and get me light and tube. I could start worrying then because they've sort of found something.
And they're not likely to go straight in with the tube. They'll probably send you off some tests first.
But Carl, there's nothing. But you go to these places to put your mind at rest and to know where you are with your health. I mean, it's not that you go along. That's what most people worry about. They think that because I'll go along and they'll find something. Well, one, that's illogical. It doesn't heighten the fact they find something because you go along. And two, if they do find something, it's a good job you went along. I mean, I'm a hypocrite because I don't go to the doctor, but I've had that done.
You should be concerned if when they shine the little light in your ear, it comes out the other side of your ear. The other ear comes right out the other side. That's when you should be worried.
But Rob, right, you said then, if they find something, they send me off for some tests, why can't I just have the test without that and cut out the middleman? Do you know what I mean?
Because you're wasting lots of money.
There's hundreds of tests they could do, and they could do every test, and they could all come back with nothing, or they could do the finger up there and send you for the 3 tests you need to find out what's wrong with you.
But in this day and age, with all the technology and that, and like brainy doctors and all that, the only way to find out is sticking a finger up there.
What are you worried about, Carl? Is it fundamentally that this doctor who's has done 6 years medical training, is it embarrassing to have a man's finger up your ass?
I just don't understand how you can get round to that without...
But what don't you like? Is it fundamentally you don't like anything up your ass, or is it the fact that it's a man's finger up there?
I don't like going to the doctors. It makes me nervous, because I think if anyone searches you long enough, they're going to find a fault with you, right? And especially if they're going that far into you. They're going to find something. And...
Probably not.
Well, you know, I just don't... I don't know how to get round to that sort of... that point where you get a... What do you talk to the doctor about when he's like, alright, nice day, strap your trousers?
He goes, he says, I'm gonna just,
Most people just shut up and let you do it, and then breathe a sigh of relief when you say there's nothing there.
Yeah.
But is that at the end of the test, or is that the first thing he does?
It's the last thing.
So that trousers up out the door.
Because he knows it ends conversation. He knows it's a bit of a faux pas. The doctor says, "Oh, I better not kick off with the finger up the arse." What I do is I'll start on with the the head, and then we're going to go. Oh, one final thing, Mr. Pilkington.
So Rob,
he drops his keys and he goes, "Pick them up." And as you bend over,
will you be doing this, Rob? Is this what you're like open to do? You do all these.
I'll have to do it at some point. All doctors do it at some point, no matter what they specialise in.
So the first one, is another doctor there to sort of make sure you're doing it right?
Not dentists.
No, but do you know?
Dentists aren't doctors anyway.
But do you know what I mean? Like, normally it's like a co-pilot will have someone with them for the first one. So when you put your first finger in, will someone be there going, right, you just want to move to the left of it?
I've already done it.
Have you?
Yeah. So that's the thing with a student, you're learning. So you get people teaching
and you learn on
these things.
Can I just point out, Rob, I think I'm right in assuming that you have a glove on.
Yeah.
And there's lubrication.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt.
No.
There you go. What are you worried about, Carl?
Who's this person who everyone's testing on in your class?
It's not one person.
One person. There's like, when a patient comes in and they've got a problem, your boss, the consultant, he does his finger up, and if he finds something, he goes to the patient, is it alright if the student has a feel as well? Then the student puts on a glove, puts the leave on the glove, and sticks his finger up and sees what he comes out with.
Rob, I wish you could see Carl's face. I mean, his face when you said, and he says, can this fella have a go as well? He looked horrified. That he thought it was a free-for-all, like there's a queue of people trying on gloves and going, let's have a go. That looks good up there. What have you found?
No, but I mean, how come you had to sort of... Is it not something you could test on yourself rather than waiting for other people to come in? Because then,
It's an awkward position to get to, really, isn't it?
Well, but you can have a good rummage then without feeling too awkward, but to sort of have a go on your first patient when you don't really know what you're looking for anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Never really thought about it.
Because you don't... If you've never done it before... You pop your finger in there, and you've got to sort of look. You've got to have an expression on your face, like you know what you're finding.
Well, they can't see what you look. They can't see your face.
There, you got the big boss consultant man going, now move your finger there, and you'll probably feel this because he's just done it. He knows what's there.
Well, what? Oh, so he's already had a go. He's had a feel, and he's going right. If you feel to the right, that's the conglomerate or whatever.
The conglomerate, yeah. His conglomerate is in perfect working order.
I'm still...
Thank you, Rob. I'm sorry you had to go through this. Carl is probably the worst patient you'll ever encounter in your medical career. Good luck with your finals, and thanks very much.
And do you know any female doctors who do this? Or?
Thank you. XFM 104.9. Thank you.
It won't do. Listen to the Gallagher Boys and stop crying your heart out on XFM 104.9. No need to. It's monkey news.
So now is it time
for monkey news? Can we have the jingle?
Oh, chimpanzee, that monkey news.
I love the jingle.
Right, well...
can we play that jingle once more?
Yeah.
Let me cue it up.
So, chimpanzee, that monkey news.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Got a lot to live up to now.
I'll be honest with you, often that jingle is more fun than the monkey news.
Wow.
Yeah. So you've got to excel yourself this week.
Well, it's there's been a lot going on.
In the monkey world?
Yeah, I was looking at the Guinness Book of Records that we bought last week.
What you bought?
What that I bought.
Yeah. Is it still wet?
I was cleaning the tea off it. I was having a little read through, and there was some monkey stuff in there. There was this isn't the actual story. I'm just telling you what it's like looking up monkey news all week.
It's like behind the scenes. It's like the making of monkey news, which is actually available on DVD.
Exactly.
It's 12 minutes unseen footage, just the making of monkey news, which is my favourite bit in a way. If you enjoy monkey news, see how it happens. See, from conception to
it's all put together.
Yeah, go on. Yeah. What's a typical monkey news day?
Well, there was some stuff about a monkey in the Guinness Book of Records. I think it had the record for asking for a cup of coffee in 23 different ways.
I don't know what to say. Oh,
that's good. Just to show the monkey news is getting bigger and people are covering it. Donald McIntyre, he was on BBC.
Yeah.
On Monday.
He was on
doing
Channel
some-
5, wasn't he?
No, he hasn't moved over yet. This is
right,
something that he did for the BBC.
Right.
So that was pretty good. That was about, well, it wasn't good. It was pretty sad, really.
What?
He was doing this thing. Do you know, like last week we were doing Cheap as Chimps?
Yeah.
And someone emailed in saying, Donald McIntyre's doing Cheap as Chimps.
Really?
And it was about,
I bet he wasn't. I bet Donald McIntyre did not do a programme
they
called
didn't
Cheap as
use that
Chimps.
title.
No.
But you could tell where they'd got the format from.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it
sure.
was about gorillas and how much you can get one for. But the problem was, because they're that pricey, they were sort of... I mean, I don't even want... It is depressing,
If it's
actually.
cool, then don't... Yeah, forget it.
Yeah, it was a bit...
Okay.
Do you know what
I mean, could I just say, in the making of Monkey News and Cheap as Chimps, not... And you're no one's harmed.
No monkey.
No. Go on.
All right. Well, anyway, today's story was emailed in.
So you didn't even do anything towards it. So when you say I've been working on Monkey News, what, you printed that out?
So is the making of Monkey News you checking your email?
Well,
Brilliant.
no, I'm always looking at different options, at, how much is going on.
This is what makes me laugh when he says he's really busy.
Yeah.
I'm doing other stuff and that. I'm doing other stuff.
People are sending in Monkey News.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get an email.
Is it
check
from
it out.
Reuters?
Well, listen, it's from Steve.
Okay.
Right? Now, what it is this monkey, right?
Yeah.
Don't know where it was. But there's a bit before the monkey anyway, right?
Jeez.
No, listen.
Shoot me.
Right? It's a bank. There's this bank, right? Busy bank. Normal day, everything's going normal,
Yeah.
right? Busy bank, people going in, doing what they do, seeing about mortgages and stuff.
Yeah.
Everything's normal, everyone's happy, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, it's quite busy one day. Fella comes in with a gun and a balaclava on.
Up to no good.
Right, I'll tell you now, Carl. If this fella turns out to be any ape or monkey-related species, you're never doing this again. I'd never... So just, if you want to finish it, it's at your own risk. But if this fella who robbed the bank turns out to be a chimpanzee, that's the end of Monkey News.
Alright.
Okay, let's hear the end. It's a lovely day in a lovely bank. Everyone's happy.
Everything's normal.
A man comes in the balaclava.
Man comes in, starts waving a gun around.
Shut up, Rick. Let him finish the story.
Starts waving a gun around,
Yeah.
right?
Up to no good.
So everyone's thinking, oh God, wish he didn't come in here, it's not going to be a good day.
How tall is the man?
Shut up. Let's hear it.
Everything, oh God, and he's telling everyone to get down on the floor.
Yep.
In
Everyone's
what, in
thinking-
English? In English?
Yeah.
In English.
So.
Yeah.
So everyone's panicking, everyone's getting on the floor thinking, this is it, it's all over.
Yeah.
Just when you think,
It couldn't
it's all
get
bad
any worse.
news,
Yeah.
it's all bad news. Doors swing open. Little monkey wanders in.
God, it's worse.
Shut up, Rick.
Little monkey wanders in, right? The robber's like, what's going on here? He's telling it to get down on the floor. I don't think it was taking any notice.
No,
right?
it was just busy asking for coffee.
It runs in. I don't know if it was kind of withdrawal or deposit or whatever. It wanders in, right? Goes up to the robber.
Where did it come from?
Shut up. Will you let him finish the story and then ask questions? That's only fair.
Okay.
Wanders in. Runs up to the fellow with the gun. Takes the gun and the bag of money off him. Everyone's like, yay, we've been saved. Then the monkey starts backing out with the gun and the money.
Shut up.
see you later.
Sit down and finish.
I'm not having this.
And
Here's the end of the story.
It does a runner with the money and the gun. No one's seen it since.
You are an idiot. I mean, you have said some stupid things in your time. What are you talking about?
Story that happened.
No! What are you talking about? What do you mean it backed out? It came in, was it an accomplice? Was it an opportunist monkey robbery? What are you talking? Think, Carl! Think!
I know it's mad. That's the idea of Monkey News. We're telling people how monkeys are pretty, they're mental.
They're up to no good.
What do you think? They've never seen the monkey since. What, did he have a getaway car waiting? Did he swing his way to freedom? Where was this? There's no details. Don't talk rubbish.
Well, Steve emailed it in. He's got it off the net. And the funny thing is,
Can I
the
see
funny
it? Have
thing
you got
is,
the information there?
yeah, the funny thing is, it wasn't just him who sent it. I had that a couple of times. So a few people obviously read the story and said, that'll be good for Monkey News. It doesn't say anymore. It doesn't say if he went off to Spain. It doesn't say, if he's on Crime Watch.
Yeah.
It doesn't say any of that. It's just saying that's what he did. That's the story. And that's what Monkey News is about.
I've heard that they're making a movie version with Phil Collins. So I look forward to that. And Julie Waters.
So that's this week's Monkey News. If you've got any,
Well,
anything
no,
happening
don't bother.
in your
'cause
town.
that's the end. No, that is the end. That's the end of Monkey News. No more Monkey News. This is, bit of Queen?
It says it here in this email, Rick. It's got to be true.
Right. 17 to 1.
Yeah.
But you are easily wound up. You are a very finicky little fussy person. You don't like the slightest bit of pressure. See, I thrive on pressure. I'm working here, working there.
That's the way I work as well. That's always doing stuff. Monkey News. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, Monkey News. I got an email.
Songs
I
of
won't read
Praise.
it to on air. It's rubbish. But that's one
Not-
feature.
not
That's
as
my
easy
bit
as
done.
that.
That's
Not
all I
as
have
easy
to
as that.
do.
Well, I'll tell you what. When I'm away next week, do Monkey News and see what you can find out. Right?
Oh, there's a challenge.
See what you can do. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've already told them about the Guinness Book of Records one, so you can't use that.
Right.
We're going to find the best Monkey News ever, Carl.
We got people to send in a little thing for you last week, didn't we? The film Freaks.
A little treat.
You got a few sent in. You watched it, did you?
Yeah.
Now, I should just point out that the film Freaks, for those that don't know, was a movie that was released, I think, in the... Well, actually, it was originally made in about 1932, something like that, and then it was
Banned for
delayed.
about
It was
50
banned
years.
for many years, because it did, in actual fact, feature, for want of a better phrase, real-life freaks.
Yeah.
Bearded ladies being one of the more kind of familiar
There's
ones.
a guy
and
without
there's
arms and
the guy without
legs.
arms, there's all sorts. And it was actually it's quite a tender film, isn't it? And actually portrays them as a kind of dysfunctional family. It's not exploitative in that sense. But what do you make of it, Carl?
Well, you were watching it for the Freaks, weren't you?
Yeah. I mean, I wish... It does take a while to get onto it.
What do you mean?
Well, straight away I was disappointed, right? Because at the start, like, you put it in, it's like, oh, brilliant. Here we go, I said to Suzanne, we'll watch this, we'll have a good night.
Yeah. Have a romantic night.
That's it, her birthday. You've got your gloves, now we're going to watch some Freaks.
So, put it on, and it starts off, and it's like, the following film, you think, ooh, it's like following films rated 15, which means, might contain scenes of violence, bad language, and sex.
Yeah.
Mention nothing about pinheads.
Right.
So I thought they missed the trick there.
Yeah.
Right? So I thought, well, let's carry on watching it.
And what exactly is a pinhead?
Oh, if you've seen it, you'd know.
Okay.
Right, so not the best thing in it either. So
Oh.
imagine that.
Okay, so you're watching it.
So sat there, I think, right, something comes on, and the little fella's on there. The little fella we were talking about, the Pillow Man.
Right.
Is it the best thing in it?
Now, what's the Pillow Man again?
Is a fella who years ago, he's got no arms and legs.
Right. He's
And
just a torso.
Just
and a
rolls,
head.
yeah. And there's a scene where you see him sort of rolling a cigarette up, just using his mouth, and it's
Yeah.
like he lights it and stuff. And that's weird. And then what else is on it?
Smoking stench of growth.
And then there's a little fella on it who is fed up because he looks 5, but he's actually 34.
Right.
Right? But there's a woman who is 42 and looked 8. So they both had the opposite thing. They were both really fed up. And I kind of thought that shows that, you always want what someone else has got.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So in a
yeah.
way, there's a story there in that.
No, you described the same there.
No, it was like...
No, they both. You just said they both looked young, but they are actually both older.
No. This was like a little man
Yeah, who was
looked-
35
who was 35.
and looked 8,
yeah.
and so did she.
No, well, the other way round then.
What? So she was an 8-year-old that looked 35?
Yeah. Oh, maybe not then.
Anyway.
No.
But that wasn't that weird. I kind of thought it's a slow start and that.
Yeah.
And then...
It's not a difficult film to follow.
No.
yeah, but I wasn't really listening to what it's all about. I was just looking at what they had. And they had like a fella who's running about on
What
just...
they had like he was shopping.
They had a fella with no legs and he's running about on his hands. And sort of got about on a skateboard. Talking to someone about it. They said that's how E.T. was done. There's actually a little fella in E.T.
Right.
who's just half of, sort of half a body.
Is that true?
I've no idea. I've never heard that before.
Why haven't we heard that before?
I've never heard that before.
I don't think he would fit in E.T. Because he's
I
got
think-
no. Because where's the head? He's got no neck. E.T. It's a skinny little thing. There's a human neck couldn't fit in that skinny little neck.
Wow.
You sure it wasn't Kenny Baker up to his old tricks?
What are you talking about, Carl? There's a fella with no legs in E.T.
In E.T. they had two fellas, right? I think they had a little, a midget fella.
Right.
Who did it, and then I think he was off sick, and they were like, oh, what else are we going to do?
So they saw a guy on of a skateboard going by.
And said, do you fancy some work?
Right.
And he's done it. I think someone told me. I mean, it might be
Yeah,
wrong.
exactly.
Might be wrong.
You might be, mightn't he? I mean, you've never been wrong before, so I don't know why you'd be wrong there. So
else
what's the
was
worst thing in it?
No, it's intriguing to me because here's a film called Freaks, featuring real-life freaks, and you're sort of a bit nonplussed by it.
Just because it wasn't, because it's built up. If you call a video Freaks, you've got to make sure that there's some good stuff on there.
Yeah.
What were you disappointed about? Was it that?
Because there was a few things on it, right? There was a woman who said she was half man, half woman, and it's like, well, you're not, are you? It was just like she had some makeup on. I thought, well, that's rubbish. And then there was a woman who could eat using her feet. That isn't that freaky. Do you know what I mean? If she's not hungry, she looks normal. And that's when I was thinking. I mean, I'm not being right, Steve. You know, I'm not being funny.
Oh, here we go.
No. But I'm just saying. If that woman wasn't eating and you were sat next to her in that film,
Yeah.
I'd probably be sort of drawn to you more than her. I'm not. I know you hate me saying it, but there's no point sort of pretending. Do you know what I mean?
Oi, Muttley, what are you sniggering about?
That face. What you mean there were things in it that were less... What are you saying?
I'm just saying.
Play a record. Seriously, I'll slap you. I'm going to slap you live on air.
Yeah, but you always get.
Right, I'm slapping you live on air.
Wow. So Freaks then. All in all, not as amazing as you first hoped.
It was built up too much. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
It's like some films.
Is that my fault for getting you excited? I just can't
Probably.
believe it. I hand you this thing on a plate. Some
I know,
of
but-
your, you know.
And I'm not being out of order, Steve. I'm just being honest. We've always said that about this show. We
Yeah,
only
yeah.
talk about stuff, you know,
Yeah.
that you know, being honest and that.
Yeah, no, sure.
And I've always said the first time I saw you.
Sure, no, you've always been honest, and I've always been honest with you. I've always said that, you know, you've got the intelligence and insight of a gnat.
Yeah, but if I keep quiet, people don't know that.
Sure.
Alright, don't get...
Incredibly they do, Carl, because you look stupid as well.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
No, but Carl was being nice then. You don't...
I'm just saying you're a good bloke, and now I've got to know you.
Sure.
Yeah. The first time was weird when I saw you.
Yeah.
No, leave it. Don't just play into it. Just let it go.
No,
right.
I'm just saying the
Okay.
first time
Yeah.
it was weird and that, and then weeks go by.
Okay.
And the weird thing is, I kind of thought maybe he's not that odd looking.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then you went to LA for 3 weeks.
Sure.
And when you came back, it was like the first time again.
Right,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
No, I just-
okay, wait, no, stop it now.
Yeah.
Right, everyone
but-
stop it now.
That
No,
doesn't-
but I just think I'm a little bit more consistent, because I've always thought you were an idiot.
I don't want this, don't argue, it was just, okay.
No, I just, you know, you know what I mean? My opinion has never changed. I've always thought you're an idiot.
No,
Just-
it's
that's
just
been
all
through line.
nice, let's look, peace.
Shut
not
up,
war.
fatso.
Peace, not war.
He's just such a stirrer, isn't he? He loves it. Don't think I didn't see you whispering behind the microphone about what to say to
Look
Carl.
what I've just drawn, Carl, subconsciously.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I drew a picture of him, it's not going to be on the website.
It's not been on the website.
No, it's going to be. I drew a little cartoon of him. No, not yours. I drew one of Carl. Right. Okay. What are we talking about? That was a.
So yeah, no, the
Touchy
Freaks thing
moment.
is over and done with. It was all right if you want to get it out on video.
Sure.
You know, it's probably worth a look. There's a couple of things on there that get you thinking more. You know, it's like how their life is and stuff. Do you know what I mean? How it's affected, and like the little pillow man, or the fella who's got half of his body missing.
Yeah.
You know, it's stuff like that you think, oh.
But what's the one that was disappointing? You said it was a half man, half woman.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that one.
Do you mean hermaphrodite or half? I can't remember it. Do you mean it was one sort of like it had bits of both?
It was just like half face done in makeup and long hair, then on the other side it had it shaved.
I love the idea that you go to this circus and there's people in there that have been sort of persecuted all their life, and they think, well, maybe I can make some money, and then you boo them because they're not freakish enough. I love the idea they go, boo, you're not freakish enough, boo. Oh, you've got bits of legs, boo. Do you know what I mean?
Rockbusters?
Yeah, brilliant.
Right then, this is where I give you a little cryptic clue and some initials, and it sort of makes up a band or an artist and stuff like that.
Sort of being the operative phrase.
Yeah. Let's see how he reads this clue.
Yeah.
This is going to sound like Oscar Wilde.
Clue number one.
3 different clues. Clue
Oscar
number
Wilde
1.
was Chinese, apparently. Yeah, it was illegal then.
Right. Will you leave the entrance to my garden alone?
Sorry?
Right. Will you leave the entrance to my garden alone?
Are we back on the gay thing, or is this... Is this the clue?
That's the clue.
Right.
Clue for Rockbusters number 1. Will you just leave the entrance to my garden alone, will you?
Right, that doesn't count because I know what it is.
And what were the initials?
What are the initials?
GG.
Correct.
Yeah, right, but you've got to pronounce the artist correctly. I'll pronounce the artist, because I know what it is.
Don't ruin it.
No, but when the answer comes, I'll pronounce the artist.
Right, can we just focus, please, on the quiz? Go. What was the clue again? Give it again.
Will you leave the entrance to my garden alone? Stop messing with it, right? GG.
Okay.
Right?
Next.
Doesn't count.
Next.
Incorrect.
Don't phone, but you can send a message on my mobile if you want, right? That's T. It's another little easy one. And the last one, we were sharing out the mail sheet.
Right, that doesn't count either.
Can we just focus?
I know what that is. I know what that is.
I don't care, we'll come to that later.
Yeah.
And number 3, we were sharing out the mail sheep, and I think I got the best one. Right? DG.
DG.
Yeah. So quickly again, will you leave the entrance to my garden alone? Stop messing about with it.
Yeah.
Right? GG.
Yeah.
Don't phone, but you can send us a message on my mobile if you want. Right? That was T. And the last one was sharing out the mail sheep, and I got the best one, so that's good. Right? DG.
Alright, Ricky. Yeah.
Well, I think it's Rockbusters' result, isn't it?
Okay.
Alright.
Brilliant.
Do you want the prizes, by the way?
Not really.
Not bothered?
No.
Right, there's some videos and DVDs and that, some good stuff in there.
VHS, I hope.
Couple.
$4.99.
Is that one about
TV
weather?
titles. What?
There's the weather one. That's going to be on telly. Donald McIntyre.
Oh, yeah.
That's in there, if you want that.
Yeah. He reckons Donald McIntyre ripped him off because he did a thing about how much it costs to have a chimp, cheap as chimps. What was the other thing you think someone ripped you off? Rockbusters.
Ken Bruce on Radio 2 is doing Songs of Phrase. He was doing that over Christmas. I took 1 week off. He's in there.
And when he heard that Donald McIntyre was doing a programme about wind, he thought he was moving on Auntie Nora.
Right. So, the first one, will you leave the entrance to my garden alone? Right, that was the cryptic clue. The initials were GG.
Yeah.
That was Gareth Gates.
Gareth Gates. Gareth. What would you
Gareth Gates.
No, but it's Gareth Gates, isn't it? So, why would you say to someone Gareth? Is that like what's that, a Manchester thing when you say Gareth?
Gareth Gates.
Gareth Gates, Gareth Gates, the bloke who came second in Pop Idol, Gareth Gates.
So that's the first
What
one.
was that about getting off the thing, though? Leave my entrance alone, though. I don't understand what it's got to do with leaving my entrance alone.
The gate
Gareth,
to the garden.
No, Gates bit, but what's Gareth got to do with
second one
it,
was
ignoramus?
don't phone, but you can send me a message on my mobile if you want. The initial was T.
Yeah.
Text us, right? Just
No, it's text. The word's text.
Yeah,
So you'd have to say text me.
text us.
Text, what do you mean? No, text me. What's that?
The third one was we were sharing out the male sheep and that. Right?
Yeah.
I got the best one. DG, right? We're sharing out the male sheep.
Get
and I
to
got the
it.
best
It
one.
doesn't work anyway. Get to
DG.
it. What is it?
Delta Goodram.
Delta Good Ram. You were Delta Good Ram.
Delta Goodram. All right. So who's the winner?
Clinic. Walking with thee. So that's Feng Shui.
That's Feng Shui sorted.
We've given away donutters. We've talked a little bit about band names today. With more insight into Karl's psyche. Now you during that record, you said, we knock everything. You saw something about the Bermuda Triangle, didn't you? That
Yeah, when I talked about Ghost, you sort of just, because you don't believe in it. I think it's because you're scared of it, to be honest, and you can't admit to understanding it and
Sure.
actually believing in it.
Sure.
Thing on last night, Steve.
Yes.
Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know much about that?
Mainly the song
Yeah.
by, what was his name?
What's his name?
Bermuda Triangle, where people disappear.
No,
Bermuda Triangle.
What's his
don't
name?
go
No,
near.
Barry Manilow.
Barry Manilow.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with the lyrics? Bermuda Triangle, where people disappear. Bermuda Triangle, don't go near.
Yeah.
I shouldn't really make a joke out of it.
No, you're right. Go on.
But, what it is, right, there's a programme saying what it's about. What do you know about it?
As I say, mainly from what Barry's told me, but certainly planes and various boats have gone missing within the Bermuda Triangle.
Planes?
Yep, but obviously that documentary didn't explore
He
it.
learned a lot about that. I learned a lot about American history through "We Didn't Start the Fire" by Billy Joel.
Again, most of my knowledge of the sort of Tsarist Russia comes from
Rasputin by Boney M.
Well, listen.
Yeah, he was the lover of the Russian queen.
They put some poison into his wine.
Yeah, yeah. They shot him till he was dead.
Yeah.
Which is, go on.
Right, well, this.
Oh, those
Right.
Russians.
Sort of, bit of an earthquake in the sea.
Sure.
Lets out methane gas.
Okay.
And apparently, if you were swimming out in the sea,
Yeah.
and there was like an earthquake and some methane came out,
Yes.
you can't swim in it, you just sink.
Okay.
Even if you're a good swimmer.
What happens if you're two lads from your school? And they
Big heads.
yeah, that's like a buoy.
Doesn't
So you can
work.
see them a mile off,
No, no,
and
no.
their webbed hands would get them into shore.
Because they did actually say, even if you're wearing a life jacket, if the water's full of methane, right?
You just
methane,
sink.
You just sink. So what it's saying is, boats have gone across the sea,
Hmm.
got a load of methane in the sea, and the boat just sinks.
Right. What about the planes?
Is it then sort of planes with little sort of floaty things
Could
on?
be.
That'll be the sort they've landed in the sea.
Right.
And methane's coming.
Well, sorry, Carl. What did the documentary say? Not I imagine.
Yeah, your hypothesis might be one
Yeah.
thing.
What did they say on the
They
documentary?
didn't cover that bit. They didn't
cover the planes.
They didn't do the planes.
Something else they said about it though.
Go on.
Loch Ness, the monster,
Yep.
Sure.
probably doesn't exist.
Okay.
What
Oh.
it is,
Interesting. Hold on. Interesting. Oh, interesting.
Is-
What they thought the Knock List probably didn't exist.
Curious viewpoint.
Hold on. What proof have they got for that, Carl? How can they go around saying stupid things like that?
it's methane,
Right.
Again, in Loch Ness.
and people have seen. What's the lake it's in?
Loch
Loch Ness.
Yeah.
It being the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it lives. That's how it finds its way home.
That's
You're
certainly the
never
clue.
gonna learn.
Yeah, if
Get again, Carl. That's the clue.
Yeah, if it's go, and it's if it's out wandering, it goes. Excuse me, would you know where I'm being the Loch Ness monster? Where would I be going? Oh, you'd be going to the Loch Ness if that's your home. It's away over there, you
So
big
anyway,
monster, you.
So the bubbles from the
Sure.
methane bubble up out of the water.
Yeah.
People think, oh god, it's a monster's head. But it's not, it's just water sort of shooting up because of the bubbles.
Well, that's two of the great mysteries of the universe solved by Karl P on a Saturday afternoon.
That is fantastic. So that makes me think a lot of things. So when mediums are sort of like going, oh, I've got something coming through. Do you think they are exhaling a lot of methane gas, and thus making them not think straight? Do you think everything's down to methane gas? Do you think that all the mysteries of the universe are down to methane gas, Carl? What did it say in the documentary you saw?
About what?
What was the budgie happy? We know that budgie was sad. Was it in a room? Because they used to take canaries down the mines, didn't they? They used to take canaries down the mines, they'd smell the methane, and then the budgie would be happy.
I'm not going to teach you anymore.
Play a record.
The long and winding
Should we introduce this, shouldn't I?
Go on then.
Oh, it's Beatles, Long and Winding Road.
Smooth. Are we getting paid for this?
and winding road.
I'll play that for Pippa, who requested some Ride. That's from a new compilation called Waves, and it's the BBC recordings that Ride made during the 90s, and I think that was originally recorded for BBC Radio 1. That's a good station. Radio
Bloody
1.
good station.
That's a good station if they're interested.
Radio 1. So one of the...
I think they pay quite well as well.
Well, I enjoyed working for them.
I know we used to work for them for a period of time.
Until we got fired for slagging off.
Simon Mayo.
I think it was Simon Mayo. Do you remember that?
I can't quite remember it.
Well, we used to do this thing, Mary and Hobbs at night, and we were getting a bit busy, and so we were constantly handing in shoddier and shoddier work. Right, we used to hand it and hand it to them.
A theme there.
A theme, I know, yeah. And to the point where they kept going, oh, like every other week they go, we couldn't put it out. Why? Well, because it was the most offensive, or it was inaudible, or it was twaddle, or you didn't record it. There was things like that.
Yeah.
And then I think the straw that broke the camel's back was Simon Mayo had just broken the Guinness World Record for DJing, and we were going, oh, that's brilliant, yeah, in the air-conditioned studio with loads of scrotes getting cappuccinos for him. That's not work. Our dad used to build walls, that's work, not sitting down. If he wants to break a record for work, and we went off on things like, I know, We were going, we know birds who do leather stuff to feed their smack addiction.
Yeah.
That's work. I want to see Mayo on his knees outside McDonald's giving a rent boy a blowjob and all this sort of stuff.
I want to see him hanging up in some kind of leather strap.
In a Amsterdam torture garden with 13 blokes jizzing on him, all with beards.
Yeah. But why aren't you still there?
Oh
happy
dear.
days.
I think the producer at the time said, we can't. I said, why not? He went, I said, we're not saying he did it, we're saying we'd like to see him do it.
Yeah.
Right? And she went, oh, he's a Christian.
All the more reason. Well, we were talking earlier about friends. You say you don't like making new friends, do you? You're kind of repulsed by the idea of new friends because it's too much responsibility. They might phone you up, they might ask you for a favour, they might need a shoulder to cry on. You don't want any of that responsibility, any of that concern. But I'll tell you what's worse than making new friends is when old acquaintances come out of the past.
Oh, pop up.
It really unnerves me because I'm constantly bumping into people who I just don't recognise.
I know.
And I've got this urge to be polite. I can never just go, I don't know who you are. I've always got to pretend.
I've looked for clues. When they say, you still, don't know, I go, yeah, so I go, right, and what about so-and-so? I go, so they know those two people, and it's like a saw in my brain going, I must know them from so-and-so.
Yeah. Well, I went back to Bristol once, and I remember walking to the bus stop, and seeing someone I recognised from school and walking all the way to the next bus stop just so I didn't have to stand there and make conversation because I just thought I've got nothing.
Where's the conversation?
I didn't know you then.
If you're yeah.
What can we talk about? We've got nothing in common except the fact that we went to the same school. I was on a train station platform fairly recently and the guy comes in and goes, "Oh, Steve, how's it going, mate?" And I looked at him, stony faced, I had no idea it was. But of course, I had to go, "Good, mate, good, how are you? How are you?" And you know, I had a newspaper and I kept looking at the newspaper thinking, every time I look at this newspaper, it's a clue for you to just walk away.
God.
But he never took the clue. He never took it, so it was kind of, I'd say, "Oh, yeah, not bad, not bad." Read the paper and he'd go, "Oh, where are you living at the moment?" So I'd tell him and he'd say, "Yeah." And I'd look at the paper again. "Oh, do you still know,
But that's the way, when you know they are, it's just as bad, because they go, "Oh, we should have a drink sometime," and you want to go, "I'll be honest, look, if I'd have wanted to get in touch with you, I had loads of opportunities.
Exactly.
I've had every day, from now, right back to the last 15 years, I could have made contact. I didn't.
Exactly.
It's easy. Take that as a clue."
Yeah,
I mean,
if you are listening to this and you perhaps know me from school or university, you're thinking of getting in touch, do not bother.
Ditto.
I do not need your friends. I've got enough friends.
Better ones.
Better friends. I've got a number of better friends that I prefer. The reason I've not kept in touch is because I don't really like you.
You've moved onwards and upwards.
Moved on. I know people now, the likes of which have won major awards on television.
Gervais, to name but one. He's happy.
He's sat right here next to me now.
That's all the friendship a man needs.
If you have won 4 BAFTAs, then give me a bell. If you have not, kindly stay in your little underneath your particular rock, because we're not interested. We have kept you out of our life for a reason. I did not accidentally lose your number.
Oh.
When I promised to send you a letter, it did not get lost in the post. Nothing gets lost in the post.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Carl, what do you think of that?
It's alright. That's about. I'm honest with them though. When I see them, do you know what I mean? I just say, "I don't know who you are, can't remember you." Not bothered.
I'm not bothered.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that is genius.
Anyway, Bit of Darkness.
Oh, well, I've got to play this. Now, be warned, this is a rock ballad off the new Darkness album. I love the album, and it's a bit cheeky playing this because it's got shades of Def Leppard, right? But there's a lovely balalaika bit in it, and it's quite a nice song, right? And it's the Darkness, and they can get away with this sort of thing for at least another 4 months.
Radio 1.
Prizes.
Yes. Rockbusters.
Yeah.
It's one of the big exciting quiz shows, and this may be one of your last chances to play. There's rumours that it's going to get ditched, Rick. Rumours that Karl Pilkington, the creator and mastermind behind it, has already grown tired of it. It's off and the way. You heard them earlier on, the very best of the Stone Roses. From that we played I Want to Be Adored. That's one of the prizes. That's a nice little Christmas compilation.
Second hand now then, really, isn't it?
Second hand, yeah. 50 years of the greatest hit singles. I'll tell you there's some great stuff on here. Opens, Rick, with Bohemian Rhapsody.
One of the biggest number ones of all time.
If you've not heard that enough already. You're followed then by John Lennon's Imagine, Candle in the Wind, Elton John. You've got
all on
sorts
one CD, Stephen.
Well,
these are some of the greatest rock minds.
They've chosen some of the best songs by some of the best artists.
Go on.
Paul McCartney's Mull of Kintyre. That's on there. We've got, let me see.
That is pretty impressive though, because they are real big classic number ones, as opposed to, you know, the song by the artist they didn't really care about. You see those things on, this is not available in the shops, and it's, you know, the second best song artists have done.
It seems odd that we're giving it away on XFM, because it includes, Robbie Williams' Angels, Atomic Kitten's Whole Again, Spice Girls Wannabe, Kylie Minogue's, Can't Get Out of the Head, and I think it closes, well, it almost closes with Steps Tragedy. That's the penultimate track. It ends though, any ideas? Big hit single. But do they know it's Christmas? Band-Aid, perfect for your Christmas party. We've also got the Groove Armada current album. Is that from them? And signed by the man himself, the Big Beach Boutique DVD, Fatboy Slim's concert on that Brighton beach, and there's all kinds of treats on there, and includes an audio commentary by Norman Cook. I don't know how that works. 3 hours of him going, this is where the needle almost jumps. Watch us for this. I did a little bit of scratching. I'm not very good at scratching, but just look forward to that.
I'm putting a different track. You'll see me there. There's the crowd loving it.
Here's me. I'm just waiting. But this is where I go from Conga Squad to Basement Jacks. Look forward to that.
That's one of mine. I'll pop on what you see there. I've got Praise You ready.
I just got that. That was slightly dusty. I just had to wipe that down with a damp rag. So, we look forward to that. Plus, I suppose this is good if you're a fan. This is a box set of the first series of Linda Green. I think a new series starts this week, or has already started. I'll tell you what I found when I was clearing up, Rick, because I know it's not a big movie this week. We normally give away a big movie. I was moving house this week, and I found a video that you're more than welcome to if you're a fan. No, it stars Kurt Russell. Executive Decision. I've got that to give away if you're interested. Executive Decision with Steven Seagal in a cameo as well. So I think it's on TV this week, Rick. So if you miss it this coming Friday, you don't tape it this Friday. Well, here it is on.
Bring it in, because I think Carl's excited about that. I think Carl would like to win that, wouldn't you?
Great prizes there.
How about if you come up with an extra Rockbusters today? For like the bonus prize.
I don't think I'm the man for the job, Carl. I think it has to come from your unique take on the world.
Carl, I don't think you've quite worked out why you're funny.
Right, and just a quick example, one of the first ones we did, it was like AK, and the clue was Exploding Pet, and it was Atomic Kitten, right? So you understand how it works now. These are your clues. The first one, that army has got some nice trenches.
So that army has got some nice trenches, excellent.
And the initials there are DW.
Do you write some of the questions for 15 to 1?
Go on.
So that army has got some
similar phrasing.
Trenches,
okay.
The second one,
what were the initials there, Carl, on that person?
DW.
DW.
Yeah. Right, the second one, the top of them curtains are all wrecked. All the materials all worn.
He acts it out though. We've got to get him on telly. We have got to get him on telly, because his little face and his gestures.
That's the second one. The initials being HV. Okay, the top of those curtains are wrecked. All the materials all worn out. Right, HV. And the final one, here's the final clue. I was in Texas the other week, right? I tripped and landed on my knees in a puddle.
What's the initials?
WH for that one. So I was in Texas, I tripped up, landed on my knees in a puddle. So that's WH.
Incredible.
Okay, so the first clue was, that army has got some nice trenches.
Yeah.
That was DW.
Who's that?
Dandy Warhols.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant.
That's good, yeah.
The second one, the top of them curtains are wrecked, all the material is worn. HV, that's Holly Valance.
Oh, he got a phone call for a woman saying I haven't heard it, and he was talking to her off air, and she went, what is it? So-and-so said them curtains. She went, oh right. He said, you know the thing around the top of those curtain is a palmet, not a valance, and he went, cut her off.
Yeah, but my auntie's always making balances on everything. I'll tell you about that next week, right?
I'm looking forward to that.
Right.
Is this the one that farted for 5 minutes?
Yeah, the very same. Right? So, we'll talk about that. I was in Texas, I tripped up, I landed on my knees in a puddle, WH, Wet Knee Houston, right?
Wet Knee Houston.
Yeah. So
you're a maniac.